Are you ready, Mr.
I'm
Kinison?
ready.
All right, let's go.
Where are we going?
You are live.
I am live.
Live and in person, Mr.
I know
Bill
three.
Kinison.
I know three other people not alive, but I'm alive. You're alive.
Yes.
They're alive.
Thank God we woke up standing up. We can
We
talk.
woke up standing up.
We got up. We can walk. We can talk. Good morning, Jerry Nicholson.
Jerry Nicholson.
He's number one on there this morning. He's first. Then Misty
I love
Soper.
him and his family. They have stuck with us almost from the beginning.
You got Misty Soper, Joe
Misty
Sumter.
Soper, and happy Veterans Day to Misty.
See, you learn something new about someone every day.
But did it really surprise you with Misty?
It didn't surprise me, but I
didn't know it, but when I saw that she had served, I think in the Marines, if I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong on that, so don't.
Mike Boyle said he is alive.
Mike Boyle, he's only alive because of Aunt D.
No. Joe Sumter, happy morning.
Love Joe and Jackie.
Kimberly Eisenberg, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to Kimberly. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and put it up there. She's up for sainthood.
Yes, she is.
Yes, she is. I'm not waiting for her to die. She's Saint Kim. Saint Kimberly.
Gary Witt says, I am here.
Yes, he is.
And Misty Soper said it was the Air Force.
Well, you know, I can no longer minister if I'm going to minister false things.
You can't.
If I'm going to tell you false things.
No, the truth. Mike Boyle said kisses, and he's clapping his hands for you. Good morning, Sharon and Stan Stein.
Yes, Sharon Stein. Love her. I think I love her more than when we lived in California. Her and Stan.
You got to know her more. Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I'll always remember the talk that Stan and I had on the cruise.
Yes.
And as I'm sure everyone knows, they are Jewish, and he and I had a great talk. Great talk.
Kimberly Eisenberg says she loves us both.
Okay, I didn't know there was a decision had to be made there.
Well, I think that sometimes it's nice that they include me because they know that.
Oh, God.
Sharon Stein says, wow.
That's what I say is wow, too.
Sharon Stein says, we love you. Jody Woods, good morning, Jody.
And they were actually, getting back to Sharon and Stan, they were our neighbors for a while.
Yes, they were.
They're in California. And who did you...
Jody Woods.
Who?
Jody Woods.
Jody Woods. I grew up with Jody.
Yes.
They're in Tulsa at
Oklahoma.
Raise of Faith.
Yep.
Her and her whole family. I loved her mother, her sister, everyone. Fantastic. But Jody was the straw that stirred the drink.
Yes. Robert LaMagna. Good morning, Robert.
Who?
Robert LaMagna. We met him in California, then he moved to Vietnam.
Yes, he did. He tried to get me to go to Vietnam. And I was like, you know what? I didn't go when we were fighting them. I don't want to go there now. But I always loved Bob. And this got to be like in the middle of the night for him. I mean, this isn't like the middle of the day in Vietnam.
Valerie Josso, good morning from Glendora. Love you both. Yes, good morning, Valerie.
And we love her. We love her.
Joe Sumter, we might love Sherry a tiny bit more. Oh, wow.
Well,
thank you, Joe.
All I can say is I think Jackie's awful pretty. The Joe. I love the Joe.
Danny James is watching. Good morning, Danny.
We're also going to be praying for Danny and his family and his friends. He had a very good friend, an exceptional saxophone player, was killed last night in a motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
And we want our hearts and our love go out to Danny. He's had a rough couple of years. I know we almost did his wife's service online. I was here and up in Chicago, and it didn't quite work out. But we're praying for Danny and his friends.
Good morning, Derek Kustra. Chris Kyer, good morning. That tree is beautiful that you've got going up there. Of course, that was the last time I was at your house, was for a nice, beautiful Christmas party, and that tree was beautiful.
Sherry, he could have the North Pole for his house with all this stuff. And is he online? I mean, his
yes,
what you can buy?
He does it online. He'll have to post.
He needs to post that. And folks, he not only travels the world, but he buys Christmas stuff. I shouldn't say stuff. That makes it sound cheap. It's not cheap. But it's great. And it's when you buy his stuff, you're going to keep that.
He said his castle is the North Pole. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Treasures.
I love Chris. We've had our times. We've had our time. Just don't bring up the ship that was at the theater that we built.
To the ship.
Yeah.
Chris is the best. He was the best captain.
Yes, he was. Chris is a good guy. He's a good guy.
Yes, he is.
I love Chris.
We miss our fun times at the Grove, but that's okay. Chris was our director.
We had just as good a times out of the Grove with Chris as we did at the Grove.
Yes, we did.
Very, 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 very good guy. We want to welcome you first to the Gospel according to Kinison. And I am your illustrious host. I am the man, Bill Kinison. And the lady that you can't see, you want to come around and let them. I love that top. Come around here and let them see it.
I'm country western today, folks.
Oh, yeah. She's a Texan now.
Yeah.
Here's our baby right here. This is Sherry that you hear her voice. Yep, that's right. And I feel like I talked you into that top, but I like it.
You probably did.
I think I did.
Love you all. And now you get to preaching, because I know when I tell you to stop, you don't like it.
Oh, last week you wasn't even here, and I went to 10 minutes over.
I was here last week, wasn't I? Yes, I was.
Week before then,
maybe.
Whatever it was. Sherry, we want to wish first a happy Veterans Day to everyone. And
thank you, Mike.
One of my jokes, and I just have fun with it because I'm not serious about it. But if you're present, or actually if you're former armed services, San Antonio is the place to live.
Yeah, they really.
No, I'm telling you,
yeah.
They don't pay a property tax, and I'm all for this. By the way, you go out and shop, and you got a handicap parking. They have military parking.
And they always give them discounts.
Well, not only that, what was it on Friday? They were giving free meals at, I forget what restaurant. A lot of different
places. They had them listed. You had to go there were so many.
Yeah, but I mean for our former armed forces, our former soldiers, this is the place to live. If you are armed forces, if you're military, they treat you like you should be treated.
It's not called Military City for nothing. It is Military City.
And you feel safer, by the way. Knowing that just about every other house has guns.
And they're military.
Yep. Well, our next door neighbor, very, very close friend, he was military for, must have been 30 years, 25, 30 years. Then he retired, and him and his wife came here from Germany, and
he's become a police officer.
And he became a San Antonio police officer at 50 years old, Sherry.
Yep.
That gives you some idea what shape he's in. But anyway, Sherry, I had to double check because there was some weird stuff going here. We had three friends that passed on the most recent was John Black.
They were ministers. They were we knew them very well.
You grew up with him. His dad would come and preach, and a lot of his family was members in your church.
Yep.
And I don't know, when I met him, he was a teenager, and man, could he play the organ.
He could play.
And his dad could preach, and John later on ended up being a great. He was pastoring the Church of God in Christ in L.A. When he passed. Also, show you how good he was. He was a member of the Gap Band. I don't know if a lot of you folks remember that. They were very big at one point.
He was a keyboard player for them.
Yep, and he transformed this week, 71 years old. Sherry, before I mention these other two, I don't know if people realize how long you and I have been doing this and how long we've been ministering and teaching the lessons and the message that we teach. And it's kind of refreshing once in a while when you realize what you have done for someone and how you've changed their lives. The first one is Harlow White. Reverend Harlow White was pastoring a church, I believe, in Chicago still, and Harlow White was a very big church evangelist and preached at the biggest churches. And then he ran into some problems, and they started blackballing him. And I was preaching for him in his church in Phoenix. We were actually riding horses. He loves to ride horses, and he broke down. He actually literally started weeping and started telling me, "I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do." And so I said, "Well, Harlow, if I was you, because there's no way you can stay out of cities you preached in, because you preached in all of them. And whenever you go there, you know these pastors are going to crucify you. They are going to crucify you." And he goes, "What would you do?" I said, "If it was me, and you and I were already doing that," I said, "I'd go into auditoriums, civic centers, and I would change my message, because their attack, religion's attack on you, is gonna be fierce, because you were one of their favorite and biggest evangelists." And he said, "I don't know any messages." I said, "Well, I'm gonna have my secretary send you a couple boxes of our tapes, and if that works for you, that's fine." Well, he took those tapes, Sherry, and I guess he was in these civic centers and auditoriums. He was successful everywhere he went. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that now he was 90 years old and passed away on November the 3rd, and thanked me many times that you and I had opened up this message to him. Now, this is a guy that could preach. He knew how to preach the old message. And when he got this new message, he went wild with it. That's Bishop Harlow White. Now the other one, and the last one, is Bishop Carlton Pearson. Now, you folks in Oklahoma, you know who I'm talking about. His church ran over 6,000 people every Sunday, Sherry.
Oh, he was great.
Higher dimensions. He came up through the Oral Roberts University, was a graduate there, was one of their world singers, and really became the golden boy for Oral Roberts. And then, like I said, he opened his church in Tulsa where he grew up, and it just exploded. Well, speaking of myself and Sherry, we went back to Tulsa after Sam passed away. And God put in my heart, and it's like I told y'all, God hadn't spoke to me too many times, but I know every time he speaks to me. And he told me to go to Tulsa, and I won't get into all of it. Go to Tulsa and hold a crusade. And I had a dream. And Sherry, we went there, and the first month that we was there, I'm thinking of, you said he's on now. He usually has a woman problem. Gary Witt.
Oh.
Gary Witt knows this very, very well, because that's how I got to know Gary, was in this crusade. But we started off, and for the first month, we never had a crowd of 30 people.
Yes, Jody, it was a friend. Harlow did come to the church, and he...
Yes, he did.
He was a friend of Brother Marnie's, yes.
Yep.
And Jody said, Souls of Fire Gospel Choir. That was,
Oh, that was Harlow's?
no, that was Carlton Pearson's choir I do.
Oh. Well, whatever. Carlton was one of a
Thank you,
kind.
Jody. She said she liked my haircut.
Who?
Jody. Keep going.
You know, I can just see Jesus sitting and teaching his crowd, and I can see probably Mark getting up and going, "Do you like my hair?" Huh? And Jesus going, "What are you doing?" Said, "Peter likes my hair. He likes the way I'm wearing it today."
That's right.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, a lot of people knew Harlow, and more people knew Carlton. When you had the funeral or the memorial for all those people that was killed in that Oklahoma City bombing,
Yep.
it was Carlton Pearson who they asked to bring the eulogy in that service. Very well respected. I came to Tulsa, and different ones can tell you we packed that church first time I ever seen it full, and started drawing people from other churches. One of those churches was higher dimension Carlton Pearson's. Carlton Pearson's church. And his godmother and his sister and his godson started coming to our services. And I believe it was his sister that asked, could I have some tapes to give to Carlton? I'd like for him to hear this. And so I said, sure. And I think we sent him over a big box of 100 tapes. A week or two later, because I had every preacher just about in Tulsa was trying to crucify me. Kenneth Hagin had the Rhema Bible College. It was so bad, the persecution, that Kenneth Hagin got up on the chapel services that they had every morning before school and admonished his students, do not go to Bill Kinison's service. Do not go there. Well, Bible college and kids, you know what they're going to do. First thing they did was shoot over. And so anyhow, I asked, I knew that Carlton was not going to be like that. I knew, I'd met him a few times. I knew he wasn't going to be like that. So the next week I said, did Carlton listen to any of the tapes? He said, yes, he did. I said, what did he have to say? And he said, you have a deeper ministry, which is exactly what I would have predicted that Carlton, or I should say Bishop Pearson, would say. Now comes the other part. It got a hold of him so much that he started ministering and started teaching what I had been teaching and he had heard on those tapes. One of those was, and you've heard me say many times, I don't believe in hell. I do not believe there's a physical place that anyone is going to go to and be tortured and burned for eternity. Folks, think how bizarre that is. How macabre that is. That they're going to, you're going to just be there. Yet God said he loves you more than you can love your own children. He knows how you're going to end up. So why would he have a garbage can or create a garbage can for children and people that he loves more than you can love your own children or grandchildren? Anyway, Carlton started teaching that. I was looking at, they had different things where different outlets had said things in the past. And I want to tell you what they did to this man. First, they ruined him in Tulsa, including Oral Roberts, Kenneth Copeland. I'll name them. They ruined him. They tried to put him out of business. He lost his church. Ended up going to Chicago and either becoming part of another church or started a church. I'm not really clear. And I would watch interviews. And they started labeling him, this is religion. started labeling him a heretic. Now, folks, I've been around a long time. They started calling me that before I was 20 years old in the ministry. I didn't get in until I was 19. And they used to say, I'm a heretic. I kind of liked it. I kind of liked playing the martyr. One preacher tried to actually put me out of the ministry, Dr. Grubb, down in Memphis, Tennessee, and they said that Richard, my brother, because we traveled together, and Richard would sing and I would minister, said Richard was carrying the burden, and that Bill, which was me, needed to get saved. They called everything that you could imagine to Carlton Pearson, according to what I read and what I'd heard down through the years. He's a heretic. He's gay. He's, I don't know how he was a woman chaser besides being gay, but that's what the outlets would say about him, just trying to destroy him. Well, he transformed this past November the 2nd, and 70 years old, and I'm telling you all this to let you know, folks, we have affected people. Sherry and I have affected people. We have affected ministries. First time I met Harlow White, I'll never forget. I'd heard about him. We were finished one revival, headed to another. I believe he was in Toledo, Ohio. I'd heard about it, so we went over there for the service that night, and he was casting out demons. He had wrote out, he had meat packing paper all across the front, and people were just throwing up, and I guess he recognized me, even though I don't think we'd ever seen each other. But as he was in the ministry and he was walking back, and I was sitting near the back of the service or church with Sherry, and he came up to us and said, "You're Brother Kinison, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "I want to talk to you after the service is over." He and the pastor kept me in a restaurant until the daylight came up. We were there all night. And he kept asking, "What do you do about this scripture? What do you do about that scripture?" Sherry, you finally got tired and went to the room and went to bed. And, but Sherry and I have affected people. You are affecting people. You may not even know it, but you're affecting people. This message will change you. This message will make you alive. It'll make you well. It'll make you whole. I got to get into this lesson. I don't even know how much time we got, but I'm going to start. Last week we mentioned just a little bit for maybe 5 minutes.
You got about 10 minutes.
Oh, there no use me.
Good morning, Kathy and Bob Henry.
Oh yeah, I love them.
Haven't seen them in forever. When we come to California, you have to, somehow we have to get with them.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, let's talk about the Battle of Armageddon and the coming of the Lord for 10 minutes. What are you doing it like that for?
Because we've had people interested in this.
I know.
Good. Go ahead.
Every time the world has a tense military situation, every single time, religious leaders as well as world leaders who really don't know what they're talking about, ask the same question. Is this Armageddon? The Bible theologians have not understood the Battle of Armageddon. And I would say that to their face. I could ask them questions, would tie them up in knots. They have declared it the final consummating battle at the end of the age, or at the end of time, at what has been called the coming of the Lord. Now, it has been taught for so long that it means war, that people have been brainwashed into that opinion. For the next 10 minutes, I want you to lay the foundations of your belief, or whatever you've heard about the book of Revelation, because it's probably been wrong, for the next 10 minutes. Just lay that on the side. And when I'm through, if you want to pick it back up, pick it back up. You see, the first thing I want you to understand is, and I told you this last week, this is a spiritual book. It's not a physical book. It's a spiritual book. Everything in it has to be spiritually revealed to you. You cannot. First, it's an impossibility for the things that people think would happen in the book of Revelation to happen. It's an impossibility. First thing is, they tell you the trumpet will sound. How many times have you ever heard them? And then you're going to see the Lord come riding on a white horse. Well, the problem is, the trumpet is a voice, not a musical instrument in the book of Revelations. If you think a trumpet will sound, a musical note, out in the sky, how long will it blow? A second? A minute? An hour? A day? How long will it blow? This message that we're teaching you sounds for days. I can't wait till every Sunday and I get up here and I get to reveal something new to you. That makes my life. That's what I was created for. See, the seventh angel or messenger is a body of people. Now, don't get caught up in all this. I'm just trying to show you the difference. So don't get caught up with the seventh angel or whatever, because all they're doing is repeating themselves in the book of Revelation. The seventh angel or the messenger is a body of people. That's the messenger. You and I are the messenger. It sounds, according to Revelation 1 and 10, it sounds like a trumpet. Yet in Revelations 1 and 15, it says it sounds like water. When God speaks, only those that have ears to hear can hear it. Remember when John the Baptist was baptizing people and Jesus showed up? And they were cousins, actually. And Jesus showed up and it came out and John pretty much asked him, what are you doing here? And Jesus said, the time has come that I must be baptized of you. And if you remember, John said, no, I'm not worthy. I should be baptized of you. And Jesus said, you have to fulfill the scriptures. And so he baptized me. As he came up, there was a voice. Now this is a strange voice. Not everyone understood it. Those that had ears to hear understood the voice to say, thou art my beloved Son in whom I'm well pleased. Only those that have ears. If you read the scripture about it, it said that others thought, well, it's going to rain. Sounded like thunder. Somebody else said, well, I kind of felt something. It felt like angels. Yet those that had an ear to hear, that God had opened up and let them see what he's getting ready to do, they understood perfectly what the voice said. The voice said, this is my beloved Son. Oh, you had to come back now, huh? Got to you, did it? See, waters.
I can hear you.
Remember when I said that the voice sounds like waters? What? Am I in trouble or were you trying to tell me something?
You got 1 minute.
Oh, boy. Waters are people. Waters are nations. Waters are tongues. That's Revelation 17, 1 and 15. We thought when the trumpet sounded, we would get out of here. Isn't that how you taught, Sherry? Trumpet sounds, get ready. We're going up. Now, Sherry'd have a real problem because she don't even like to fly. So just going up in the air, she'd have a heart attack and go ahead and be transformed. But it says, didn't say we're getting out of here. It said when the trumpet sounds, we shall be changed. Never said anything about going anywhere. This message is about change. It's about changing people. Why does Sherry and I do this? Not because we do it for nothing. Not because we got all kinds of money. We do it because this is what God has created us for, to bring this message. And he has brought every one of you to become part of this. It's not accident. It's not by an accident you turn us on. It's God that has prepared it for you. Some people think he's come to get you out of here so you can use him as a fire escape or so you can be delivered. That's because you are so bound that if you were delivered, you wouldn't think you had to get out of here at all. I used to tell folks, Sharon, and I know I'm pressed up on time, but I used to tell foot people that if you hit the lottery today, now before you hit the lottery, you're praying, God, come quickly. Lord, come quickly. Israel is in a war. There's wars in Ukraine and Russia. Come quickly, Lord. Well, Sherry, I got a feeling that if they would hit the lottery tomorrow night, or they hit it last night, or whatever, I got a feeling their prayer would change and go, Lord, let's not get too crazy here.
Let me spend some of this money before I...
That's right. Let me enjoy this. I've done without for so long. Let me enjoy this. Don't come yet, Lord. Don't come yet. Let me enjoy this. See, if you carefully read Revelation 16, you'll find out that Armageddon is not called a war. Armageddon is not a war. It is like many other things people have been led to believe that does not become scriptural. It's not scriptural. It is like, okay, the last or seventh trumpet is the message of completeness and perfection. Man, I got to stop here somewhere. I just don't know where, Sherry.
Number 7. God is that's my number. God.
Heavenly Father, I thank you for the time you give us this morning, and I do not regret the accolades that we placed on Harlow White and John Black and Carlton Pearson. They are yours, and they've only been transformed. They're not dead. They cannot die. But I'm not going to apologize for the time. I am asking you to cause every person that listens to me to be touched today. Let them be touched financially. Let them be touched health-wise, in their joy, in their peace. And give Israel the strength they need to complete the job. Now I'll give you all the praise. Amen. Oh, man, Sherry, I got through one page.
Yes, unspoken prayer request, Paulette and her friend Ernie.
Oh, yeah. Ernie really needs it. We need to pray for Paulette, too. What else you got?
Lisa Peterman, Charlotte Tucci.
Yep.
Donna and Chuck Weiss and Janet Schaefer. There you go. We're sending peace and healing to all of you.
Yep, we sure are. Sure are. Love you. We love you. All right. Guess we'll go out in this dark...
It's raining.
Rainy.
We need the rain. So
day.
Yes. It is raining.
But it's still San Antonio. And I got to be honest with you, sure. I really like it here. I really like it here. These are my people. They talk like me.
Yep.
I'm dressing like them.
No, they don't wear suits.
No, but I wear my boots a lot, sure.
Yes, you
I do wear my boots a lot. Anyway, God love you. I love you. Sherry loves you. Got anything else?
No, I love you, and we'll see you next week. Have a great week.
God bless you. God bless America, and God bless Israel.
Yes, pray for Israel. Yes.
And God bless our veterans. I want to say something else before we leave.
Okay, go ahead.
More should be done for our veterans. No veteran should be out here sleeping homeless.
No.
Not one. I contribute to Towers for Tunnels. And what that does is that if I was in the service area and I got killed, they pay off your house and they take care of you. That's how our veterans should be treated.
Yes.
It's a shame how they get treated. God love you. See you next week.